Who is closer to beauty? What is beauty? That is the quest of this lifetime for any creator. The closer you can get to creation, the closer you can get to the energy that flows through the wind, through the trees, and has the peace that we all know about. It's the energy in your child's smile. It's the joy in this world. The closer you can get anything to that, the better whatever you're working on is going to be for people, society, and yourself. That's what made this debate for me, not even a debate, this conversation for me so interesting. Because you had two fundamentally different approaches, and both people took nothing personal, and there was zero vindictiveness in the conversation. It was kick ass, must watch. Terrance Howard on Rogan with Eric Weinstein talking about concepts. Just talking about concepts. And both guys coming from different perspectives. You had Terrance Howard, who's coming from this, idea of channeling energy and then it sparking in his mind to essentially bring 4D mathematics in a 3D world. And then you had Eric Weinstein, who has years of dedication, heart and soul dedication to study mathematics, which has been a stepping stones of many, many lives through 200 years of deep, dedicated research. Very fascinating, very interesting. So that was my biggest takeaway. I do want to pause and say I have a free seminar, my first seminar coming up about forgiveness. It's in the link below. It'll be a 15-minute dissertation on forgiveness. I'm mainly going to focus on self-forgiveness because self-forgiveness is your most powerful spiritual growth tool that you have, period, end of story. I'll give 15 minutes and then hopefully a few of us stick around and we can, shoot the shit and talk about whatever people are going through, and just it'll be a fun enjoyment, positive energy, positive vibe conversation. Okay, let's get back into it. I do want to give props. I thought it's very hard when someone comes in from a completely different viewpoint, especially in science, because people are so restricted in terms of if you're in the science community, you're always trying to, once again, prove you have a source base of information and you're trying to prove based on that. And then you have someone like Terrance Howard who comes in and just says, yeah, that's all wrong. This is what I think. And so it can become a very hostile conversation. But I thought Eric did a good job, actually listened, and it was a phenomenal conversation. That being said, though, I think, what is the end target for science? And I think I was thinking about this during the watch. The end target of science is free energy. What other thing would the end target of science, like if you skip science, 400 years, 4,000 years in the future, like what would you want science to discover? Free energy. Essentially removing hell from the planet and having everyone with the ability to not have to deal with the energy system and the money system of the current existence. The hell that creates. So that's why it's so interesting, because you have a guy like Terrance Howard who's theoretically, what he's proposing is the fundamental building blocks to reach a system that is closer to free energy than what we have today. And he may be completely wrong, but I'm just saying that mindset that he's discussing is, to me, closer than what we have today, which is essentially what Eric Weinstein's stating is the mathematics and the set foundation today. I think, not to get conspiratorial, but when you hear those rumors about like Tesla and some of these other guys, that if you go down a deep rabbit hole, which we all probably done, of like UFO community or whatever, they all talk about free energy existing. And my understanding is, or my thought is, if there's beauty like I just described in the opener, free energy literally has to exist. So both of these guys may be right long term, where you may have, hey, here's the mathematics of the physical reality that we know, and that's Weinstein. And then you have Terrance Howard saying, here's the mathematics of the entire realm-based solution that is the human experience, the multiple dimensions. This is how mathematics works across dimensions. And if you put those two together, I wonder if that could be the future of science long term. Just a thought, guys. Just a thought. And I also want to state that when Terrance Howard is his methodology to discover this information is rather interesting. He's stating that he's channeling or some being talk to him. And from my perspective and from my understanding is, yeah, that's possible. I mean, it's all the near-death experiences. You can see people channel on YouTube different beings themselves. So that to me is a path to learn information. And I think there's a lot of people that do that quietly. They don't tell people about it because they don't want to be labeled as psychos. And so I just want to state that too, that I think that is a possibility. And honestly, if you're trying to get information quickly, pulling that information from yourself or the realm or like, you know, a close being to you, you know, God or, you know, guardian angel type being, I think that would be a very valid way to pull information, though it should be tested via people like Weinstein. All right, I just want to jump on here. I know I've rambled a little bit, but definitely a must watch. Once again, coming from the perspective of beauty with its correlation to this planet, and hopefully, you know, that conversation opens minds to think, okay, what is the future of science? Because I think that's really what it was. All right, thanks guys. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe. We'll keep it going. Right on.